week 4. It's Sunday. I was not able to vlog like mostly at all this week. I think I got one clip and I don't even know what I talked about. So let's go over our week check-in for week 4, recovering a sense of integrity. When I was reading this chapter, I didn't really connect with it like I did with week 3. I think it was similar to week 2 for me. I was just kind of like, Like I said, I had like other things going on this week that I could not vlog, and I could not really be immersed in the process. So I felt kind of like this was okay, I'm doing the work, I'm doing the tasks, but I didn't really connect with the chapter. I guess what she wrote about is like having a sense of integrity when it comes to yourself and your creative work. Like, don't deny your passions, don't deny what you want to create, just do it. The biggest part of this week was the deprivation. In the book, it was written years and years and years ago, and she talks about reading deprivation, but I took it to mean deprivation of whatever you use to distract yourself from creating, from being in alignment with yourself. And so for me, that was social media. I am addicted to TikTok, and I know people say that, oh, casually. No, I am. Like, I will show my screen time right here. I, in 10 days, was on TikTok for almost 2 of them total. Like, I am so addicted to TikTok. When I saw this, I was like, yeah, no, reading is not a problem for me. I'm gonna get rid of my TikTok and my Instagram and any form of social media. So I did that. I was already prepared to not really be on socials this week or creating this week because I was unable to. I didn't have the house to myself. So I pre-filmed all of my TikToks, and it ended up working out perfectly with this week because I was off of TikTok. I let myself go on to post my videos, and that was it. Otherwise, I did no scrolling for this entire week, and I don't know if it really changed me. I honestly think I distracted myself with other means, like watching YouTube, watching TV, so I don't really know if that helped, but it was good to get me conscious of how many times I reach for TikTok in a day and why. I felt so many times like, oh, I want to scroll right now, but I didn't. And it was really difficult, which is why I knew like reading was not going to do anything for me. Not reading. I actually instead started reading a book. I was creatively blocked. Like, normally I write my Substack essay every week, and this week I had nothing. Like, every single day I was like, what do I write about? I looked at all of my topics that I have pre-saved on topics to write about, and I was like, none of these are really hitting for me. And it wasn't until Friday, my personal essay comes out on Friday, that I thought of something and I wrote a blurb like really quickly. It actually didn't turn out that bad, but I was just like so blocked. And I feel like sometimes I get my inspiration from TikTok and from conversations and things I see on there. So it's interesting to get hindsight, like, oh, am I as creative and passionate about these things when I'm not hearing them from other people? In the book, she says, deprivation is a powerful tool and a very frightening one. Even thinking about it can bring up enormous rage. For most blocked creatives, reading is an addiction. We gobble the words of others rather than digest our own thoughts and feelings, rather than cook up something of our own. This is how I knew social media was what I had to block and not reading, because I don't have an addiction to reading. I actually sometimes avoid reading in order to scroll on social media. And I definitely take in the opinions of others on TikTok, on Instagram, on all of these other apps. So I'm really glad with my deprivation that I like took a break from that, because I definitely needed that. But I don't know if that helped me. As for the tasks this week, I thought they were pretty fun. The first one was describe your ideal environment. I had fun with this. I think I already talked about it earlier, but I made like a Canva little mood board for like my dream apartment that I'm hoping to get around the corner soon. Hopefully I'll be moving out, so this is actually good for me. I made it my background on my laptop so I can look at it every time I open my laptop. I'm like, oh, that's my future place. One of the tasks kind of go hand in hand. You were supposed to write about your 80-year-old self and your 8-year-old self. I did both, and I really love this. Again, it felt like outside of me, that I was connecting to these future versions of myself and visualizing them. And I wrote a letter from her to me now, and it just came to me. I don't really know where or why, but it felt so natural, and like I like reading it back. It's comforting. It was kind of hard for me to remember what I was like at 8. It was almost 20 years ago. It's crazy to think about. Yeah, I ended up remembering that was like one of my best years in school. Like, I loved my teacher. I was in the 3rd grade and I loved my teacher so much, and that was probably the year where I was the most myself. Like, if I were to connect with a version of my inner child, it would be her, because she was like really flourishing and learning about herself, and like I was starting to come into my own. And it's so interesting that I've forgotten that and disconnected with that version of myself just over the years, because that's probably the version of my inner child that I need to connect with the most. The next task was to look at your environment that you're in now. This is my environment now, and see if you can make it more homey, more inspiring for your creativity. And I really said that I don't want to do this task because like I'm planning on leaving, so I don't really see the point of making this space something when I've done so much work to undo making it something in preparation for moving forward. She wanted us to go back to our life pie from week 1 and reevaluate or see if anything has changed. Nothing has changed for me. If anything, I feel like maybe I'm closer to my spirituality, but everything else has pretty much stayed the same. This is my issue with the book, is I don't think she realizes that these are weeks, and like they're not months that we're doing this, where we can dive in deep and really like I don't expect myself to change in a week. Maybe over the course of 12 weeks my life pie will look different, but from week 1 to week 4, like I don't know how much of a transition I could get for those big things. I definitely will look at my life pie again and see if it changes by week 12, because I feel like that's more realistic for me. The next task was to create your own artist prayer. I'm not religious. I said flat out, like, I'm not doing this. What I did instead was I wrote a letter to the universe, because that's how I usually connect with spirituality, how I connect with something outside of myself. I wrote like 3 pages to the universe and I like tucked it in the book. And it connected with me so much that I started crying when I read it back. So I put it in my notes app. I put it in my Google Doc so that I can go back and read it whenever I need to. But yeah, it was getting me closer to my spirituality, clearing out my head of my thoughts on my relationship with my spirituality, with the universe, and like what I believe, especially now at a time in my life where like spirituality is so important when it comes to me like having trust in the universe and having trust in my path. Like that is such a big challenge for me right now. I also am just like on a personal front trying to reevaluate or redefine my definition of faith. I think faith is so attached to religion when I think about it, that it's really important for me to deconstruct that idea and claim faith in my own way, and my own faith in the universe, not in a god. Next is my artist date. I did my artist date super last minute. Again, I was so creatively blocked this week. I didn't know what to write on Substack. I didn't really have any ideas for TikTok, and I didn't know what to do for my artist date. They all just kind of came up as it went. So for my artist date, I went down to this like food and wine festival in my town, and I walked around for a few hours. I ate good food. I listened to the live music. I people watched. And it was pretty nice. I go every year, and I honestly forgot that it was this weekend, so it was super last minute, but I ended up doing that spontaneously as my date because I had no idea what to do elsewise. The last task that I did was for her to, she asked you to look at your life and look at one situation where staying stuck is actually benefiting you in a way. And I said there's too many like examples for me to use, because I feel like stuck kind of describes my life over the past 2 years, so I feel like it was hard for me to think of one situation, but I ended up using just like a simple small one, which was like not intentionally moving my body every day. I think there's comfort in staying stuck because it's like challenging yourself to move yourself every day. And again, my own issues with like I don't know why I always talk about like food and body and stuff, but it does have such an effect on me and my life and my creative talents, my confidence and everything. But yeah, I think it's hard for me to move my body every day because I don't feel the benefits of it until afterwards. Even though I know after I exercise, after I work out, I feel so much better, it doesn't make it any easier for me to do it. The initiation is still hard. One of the things that benefits me of not moving every day is I always have something to strive for. And if I don't, and if I do accomplish what I want to accomplish, then what? You know, like it's just about keeping it up. And that isn't as exciting to me. That doesn't come as naturally to me. So I think that's part of why I avoid it as well. Yeah, this week overall, I'm glad that it's done. It didn't feel as connected as week 3, but it was still pretty good. I really like the tasks in the book this week. The social media deprivation was really, I think, important for me, and I think going forward I'm gonna not limit as much as I did this week, but I definitely am gonna limit myself for social media usage and how much I spend my time on it, because I do think it affects me and my productivity, my creativity. It affects just, you know, it's a distraction, and I don't need to be distracted. I need to just like face things head on. I think that's the issue with procrastinators, is like you don't realize how easy things are to get done until you do it. And it's the longer you procrastinate and distract yourself, the harder it becomes to do. And it's actually not that hard. So I definitely need to limit that. I did my pages every day. Like I said, pages come really natural to me. The pages aren't uncovering some deep secret like she says in the book. Like, I would say that's my biggest disappointment so far, is that she puts so much weight on the pages. I feel like I get nothing out of the pages. I'm just like using up my notebook that I just got, and that's it. I'm glad that I'm sticking with it. I can't believe I've actually stuck with it this long. Normally I like give out and quit, but I'm not going to. I have not read week 5 yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully next week I will be back to my regular like life, so I can really dive deep into the book, talk to the camera, and sort things out in my head. This is week 4. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, subscribe to see week 5 through 12. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me or subscribe on Substack. I write articles every week. I can't guarantee that they'll be the best thing you ever read, but they'll be from me, and that's special. So thank you for watching.